Recently, someone posed the following question to me. Do alternative new media pose any serious challenge to traditional media? After giving the question serious thought, I have come up with an answer. It depends. What, you say? That's no answer. So let me explain my reasoning, by which I have derived such a equivocating conclusion. First, I did some serious research into the terms new media and traditional media, upon which I think any answer to the question posed must logically depend. Do you know what I found out, though? There's no definitive, satisfactory explanation of the differences between the media forms to which all academics subscribe. Some authorities hold that new media is a digitally enhanced format, and traditional media is thus its analog cousin. However, the same source holds that newspapers, magazines, radio, and television broadcasts all fall into the latter category. I think this is an illogical categorization based on definition, considering how many digital television channels exist today. In fact, shortly, both the US and the UK will convert to completely digital TV format. So we can't really draw a line between analog and digital and still make assumptions on current media channels. Other sources had divided new media and traditional media into internet-based media and all forms that came before the internet. This seems a bit more promising if one can forgive these sources for pronouncing a technological innovation now more than 30 years old as new. However, problems still occur when we think of all the print media outlets as well as radio and TV stations which have adopted to the internet's presence in daily life by producing electronic versions of their original formats. Still other authoritative voices have ventured that new media refers to Web 2.0 or user-generated format on the internet, such as that which is present in blogs, virals, social network postings, and online forums. Traditional media, in the sense of this interpretation, is one-way information vehicles, including print, radio, and TV, as well as their online versions. For the sake of argument, I shall adopt the last definition in fielding the original question. Just to refresh our collective memory, that question is, do alternative new media pose any serious challenge to traditional media? I think traditional media is a long way from death by disuse. For example, many people still enjoy the rituals of reading their morning newspaper or their monthly magazines and watching their nightly broadcasts. Others listen to talk radio and other such broadcasts while at work. These people see columnists, DJs, and anchors as akin to trusted friends to be relied on for the accuracy of their information, a comforting presence over morning coffee, during a difficult workday, or after dinner. A recent survey conducted by Telecom Express and published by the BBC highlighted these trends, in fact, when it found that 66% of British respondents trusted national TV broadcasts as the most accurate and trusted source of information, followed by newspapers at 63% and radio at 55%. The same study, on the other hand, found that new media sources, such as blogs and web pages, found them to be least trustworthy at 24% and 36% respectively. So although new media currently ranks well below traditional media in users' attitudes towards reliability, will this always be the case? I'm not so sure. Research continually shows that circulation of newspapers and magazines continues to fall while online usage soars. Radio and TV ratings are falling as listeners and viewers seek out other options such as MP3 sharing and downloading, surfing sites such as YouTube for virals, and watching video podcasts, all available through new media outlets. There's a reason traditional media feel constantly under pressure from new media and have adopted some of its techniques to protect their existence. And while it is also true that many internet-savvy people choose to limit their news gathering to trusted brands which are electronic versions of traditional outlets, it is also true that the blogosphere and YouTube are exploding in popularity. A study by MSN last July estimated that 1 in every 4 British internet users publishes their own blog. Countless millions of people globally belong to social networking sites, with Facebook, MySpace, and Bebo amongst the most popular. Wikipedia and other user-generated information depositories are among the first sites checked on data for for new topics. A book by American professor David Mendick entitled Tuned Out: Why Americans Under 40 Don't Follow the News states that a mere 11% of internet users under 35 in the U.S. list news gathering as their top reason for logging onto the internet. But it is my contention, while these users are not getting information from electronic versions of traditional outlets, they are still getting news from their friends and family in their social networks. Psychology research has long shown that word of mouth from family and friends is the strongest influence on people's opinion-forming practices. With the rise of the citizen journalists and social networking sites connecting far-flung friends in one digital place, the potential for this kind of influence has dramatically increased.